How dare they?
How dare they what? What's with this camera?
Those Octoblis bean counters are milking the player base once again. #/spit.
What is it this time?
More shop mounts. Bleh.
Okay, go on.
I'm so sick and tired of them releasing content that we can't just earn in the game.
Like the mount that you're sitting on right now?
No, this doesn't count. It can't even fly.
How about the one that you're sitting on now?
Hey, stop cutting back to me.
To you, this is a really big close-up. I'm kind of self-conscious here.
Just use a disguise. They'll never notice.
Good idea. Hi everybody, it's Soul and welcome to another episode of Warcraft Weekly, the show that reminds you what day of the week it is, or it reminds me what day of the week it is. As always, we have news to talk about, but first, a big and hearty thanks to... Ow, dude. What was that? Why you gotta throw shit, Bob?
Oh, that wasn't me. Those are your new patrons, and their contributions are making a big impact on your channel. Impact,
A big thanks and a very warm welcome to Michael and Brandy. Thank you for your contributions, and also a big congratulations to Merlana, who answered a question from last week. Then the question was, what are you looking forward to most in patch 825 so far? She said, I'm looking forward to the new models and what's coming next in the story. And by now, we totally know what that is.
Anduin, Talia, Rathian, love triangle, ooh.
Oh my god, avert your eyes.
Merlana, you're gonna get a month of WoW game time, so contact me somehow. Discord, Twitter, a comment, something, please. So what went down this week? Actually, kind of a lot. The PTR is finally actually live as of earlier this week, and we also had a new build too. It introduced a scenario with some very heavy lore bits, but I'm gonna save that coverage for a later date, so stay tuned for that for next week. In some WoW Classic news, this week marked the final stress test before the game's released on August 27th. Thousands, or millions, because I've got to pander to the Classic fans, they logged in for the ritual slaughter of boars and wolves. Thousands more wanted to join in on, joining on the fun with their favorite streamers. As for me, I danced on the mailbox, alone, in multiple places. Oh, precious memories. In one of those bits of welcome news, WoW Classic will in fact launch with separate RP-PvP realms. This is great news for those player types, but I'm also a little bit curious over just how big of a deal this really is. RP PvP realms gained some prominence during Legion when sharding first began. If you recall, RP PvP realms were exempted from this whole sharding technology doohickey, except for the most extreme circumstances, but it was here in these kinds of realms that roleplay and community took precedence over gameplay and convenience and Blizzard's invisible hand. But with no sharding issue to solve in WoW Classic, well, this is still great news for role players who want to have a roleplay environment with a little bit more friction, cool, but the impact of this in the long term, it's just another nice bit of news, another thing for the community to hang on their refrigerator door that, hey, Blizzard listened, woo! Blizzard also released the realms and names of realms that you'll be choosing when you jump into Classic.
I would pick Mancrick, and I don't care if it's not an RP server, we will reinforce one rule: Quillbore Annihilation.
So on the US side, you have a total of 5 normal realms, 6 PvP, 1 RP, and 1 RP PvP realm. 13 in all. On the EU side, a whopping 12 realms. As a reminder, you'll be able to make 3 characters and basically reserve your name August 13th in a global event, so check your local time for when you should be logging on, or maybe wait a while so you can avoid hopping into the most crowded realms. Now, just like the vanilla launch, Blizzard could always launch more classic realms based on the demand. I just expected more though. Maybe Blizzard is being conservative so it can avoid having to do realm merges someday. I kind of like the smaller number, even though it's a bit dangerous to only have one RP server, one RP PvP server, and it leaves fewer options for those kinds of players. But also consider that streamers are likely going to have a massive influence on at least a couple of these realms. There are players who have big concerns that streamers' presence will heavily disrupt that whole 2004 experience.
I guess we're all RPers now, huh? Off to Bloodsail. Arrrr.
But what do you folks think? Is this enough realms? Because I certainly don't think that there are too many. And do you expect Blizzard to open up more in the future? I want you to think about that question though. There's a little bit more I have to say on Classic stuff. The WoW Classic team put together a series of pages called Classic Connections. It's basically just a series of folders in the official WoW forums that lets you choose your original faction and realm in the hopes of reconnecting with other interested vets from the good old days. Hey, check it out, Colonial Space Marines. I actually sort of remember them. The site opened with not a lot of fanfare, so there was not as much traffic as anybody would prefer.
Or Classic is dead on arrival.
Hey, you're dead on arrival.
I'm not alive, haha.
In fact, if you sit down and think about it, Classic isn't getting a lot of public attention outside of articles citing WoW Classic news. Ads, commercials, this is something that you would expect to see by now. For example, before the release of Battle for Azeroth, a series of commercials made the rounds 3 weeks prior to launch. Today, we're fewer than 3 weeks before launch. So are we going to see commercials at all? That remains to be seen. There are only a dozen or so realms that'll open up at launch.
The US has a baker's dozen.
At ChinaJoy, the Blizzard hype was over Warcraft 3 Reforged, when this could have been a big moment for Classic.
Holy moly, those models look freaking amazing.
I know, huh? I can't wait to get my hands on at least like a demo. Okay, sorry, let me get back on track. We're left with the question of just how confident is Blizzard in WoW Classic's success. Now let's get real, folks. It's more than likely that Classic is going to make Blizzard a ton of money. I mean, after all, you dual sub, I guess I'll call it that. You get the current game, and you get the classic game, so it's a foot in the door for players to freely jump between whichever version of WoW they want to play for whatever reason. Blizzard's also made it clear that Classic is going to continue to be supported whether it has billions of players or just a couple of thousand. The only thing that's really up in the air is whether or not they're going to go through with expanding Classic into other expansions, notably the Burning Crusade and Warlords of Draenor, Wrath of the Lich King. But we're probably not going to have a good indicator of whether or not it's going to happen until a few phases in and we can really take a look at the population. And even then, we're not quite sure what the time frame of these phases is going to be yet. I suppose word of mouth is good enough for Blizzard. After all, the World of Warcraft had over 100 million accounts, created within, I think, like the first 10 years or so, and by now, there's probably a lot more. And even if only half of 1% actually played for a decent amount of time, that's a big win. I guess Classic just has a very low bar to hit in order to seem like a success, and that's fine by me. Moving on, a pair of mounts was released into the Blizzard shop this week. This time it's the alabaster mounts that purchasers of the WoW Anniversary Edition will receive with their copy later this year. The video presenting the mounts was met with the usual reception. Sigh. So let's get to the what of the week, and really, there's plenty to choose from that makes me go, what? And yet the easiest target, the low-hanging fruit that I've chosen this time is, well, it's none other than Asmongold, who at one point encouraged his followers to slash spit at anyone who was on a store mount. Like, what? Like, really, what kind of message is that supposed to give? Is it to express your dissatisfaction with Blizzard having a store? Is it the notion of throwing down more money on top of your existing subscription? I get it if that's your opinion, if that's what you're trying to say, but spitting doesn't send that sort of message to Blizzard. The way I see it, it sends a message to the person that you're spitting on. And the message that you're sending is that you're an asshole doing what a celebrity encourages you to do. I take no issue when Asmongold wants to react to criticisms that are directed to him personally. We've talked about this already. But encouraging his followers to spit on others because they like something, that's bullying, that's discriminating, it's being mean-spirited or whatever you want to call it. Go ahead and resist, fight back if you're being attacked personally, but if you're trying to tell Blizzard something, then just tell them something. This is a game with, ones and zeros, words, and emotes. Straight out encouraging toxicity like this though, it's childish, it's small-minded, it's not even doing anything to get the original point across. But let's move away from that and get to the context. Critics are railing against the second anniversary mount coming out this year that isn't even as unique as what you would typically expect from a mount in the shop. The way I see it, the mount being released on the shop is an answer to the fact that the 15th anniversary version of WoW coming out later is very, very exclusive. I think that there would be a lot more salt over a limited edition mount than just one being sold on the store. Remember, there are still limited edition mounts circulating out there. Meanwhile, with a little bit of work, everyone with an active subscription can complete a series of mini raids to obtain a freaking Deathwing mount. It's time limited, sure, that's a different issue, but to active subscribers, it's accessible to all.
Soar the skies on the destroyer. Just make sure you don't lean too far on one side, otherwise you get thrown off. Haha.
You might not care for another dragon mount, sure. Then choose from all the others that have come in just with this patch. It might look like I'm burying the principal concern with the fact that there's more to the argument than just this one point, and you're right, but you can't deny it either. The world of Warcraft is bigger than just one thing. For the record, I'm not gonna buy the mount. I did get a copy of the anniversary box, but really it's just so I can have it. I'm not even sure if I'm gonna open it. I might just sell it if it happens to be worth something. But I don't like the mount. I get the theme and all, but I don't like it. It's dull. It draws attention to the eye for the wrong reasons. It looks like a mount that's still in production. It could have a cooler effect, like imagine if it was this color, only when on the ground and standing still, but when it moved, it broke out of its shell like a gargoyle or something. This is like the white elephant of mounts. If I got this as a gift, I'd probably try passing it off to someone else, but that's the extent of my complaints against it. When it comes to the criticism, I encourage those to critique in the right direction. I'm not going to go up to someone drinking from a plastic straw and then spit on them because they're ruining the planet. I'm not going to spit on someone using an iPhone because I don't agree with Apple's business practices. I'm not going to judge someone I don't know because of something that I just happen to see. This is just a video game. But if you're trying to clearly insult someone while trying to hide behind a glass wall like that, well, I can still see what kind of person you are. So let's wrap up with some 15th anniversary stuff.
Hey, whoa. That's a heck of a roller coaster there, bro.
Yeah, let's get to these last bits, alright? It appears that WoW accounts that have been inactive for a number of years have a free level 100 character boost on them in an obvious bid to tempt players back into the game should they choose to come back. It's a little bit odd that there's no 3-day trial included with this. The Wowhead comments though, well, of course they turned this into what could have been another What of the Week. Apparently, according to them, we subscribers are supposed to get free boosts every year and that this promotion is an insult by not giving us anything for free. Of course, like I said, in order to use this free boost, you need to resubscribe, which will cost them $15. But folks at home on the toilet, help me out here. Am I missing something? Like, am I supposed to feel entitled as what will soon to be a 15-year subscriber of multiple accounts? Because in hindsight, I was pretty cool with the Dreadwake mount, which really didn't require me to do anything at all. And there are the other anniversary gifts and the events that I was here for, so I got all that. There was the pre-Legion event, which let me boost a whole bunch of characters to 100 in a really short period of time. And then there's the included max level boost that you get whenever you buy these recent expansions. And of course, there's the in-game knowledge that I've developed that let me earn enough gold per month that I've been playing WoW for free. Whether it's subscriptions, expansions, services, all that stuff, since the WoW token became a thing. However, that guy or girl who hasn't played in a really long time and more than likely won't return just because of an incentive like this, oh, they get a free boost, and I'm supposed to be mad. Cool. Thanks for the memo. Finally, stuff. In an effort for evil Actibliz to take our money for literally nothing, they launched the line of anniversary swag. Let's take a quick look. The jacket looks pretty good, that's probably number one on my list, but too bad I hate feeling hot, and feeling hot never makes me look good. I do dig the mug, it's just about the right size for a big ass cup of coffee, or even better, ice cream, or even better, ice cream, with coffee in it. Oh, there's a few standout shirts, including one for Mulocos Tacos, and
Molten Core.
There's the classic green linen shirt.
Oh, how pleasant. Is it really made from linen?
Nope.
What the f?
And some current expansion items like this canvas wall hang. Dude, I would pay money, like actual non-BattleNet balance money, if I can get a complete set of all the expansion boxes. And that's the show. I'm going to wrap things up quickly because I'm behind on everything, including the whole light thing that I was going to talk about that I was supposed to upload before this recording, but I totally forgot. So you'll see that in a day or so. Oh, and there's the classic survival guide that I totally forgot about. But stay tuned for that stuff. I'm going to be working on them throughout the weekend, and as always, a huge thanks for coming by and watching. Your support means a whole lot, and I want to continue sharing my passion for this game for billions of years to come. So, I'll see you next week for more of this and all things Warcraft. Until then, stay safe, stay happy, and stay breezy.